Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hellcase Hell Cup here. My name is Dinko. I'm going to be joined by Yumi this time. We've had a little substitute. Hawker wasn't quite cutting it, his terrible poetry, and so we cut him out. So, welcome on the broadcast, Yumi.
You've set a high standard. I suddenly have to step up my poetry game for some reason.
No poetry, the better, you know. Lack of poetry, that's where we keep you. He made a little poem about one of the players, and we had to kick him out after that.
Oh, okay. To be fair, I don't think I've ever made a poem about a player.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
intend on starting now.
Yeah, it's not really a normal thing to do, but Hulk isn't exactly the definition of normal. So we're actually getting to see a pistol round. I think this is the first time I've actually seen a pistol round in this tournament. So
yeah, a full pistol round.
Yeah, and even a pause as well to let us kind of settle into this. Yeah. Well, it's LDLC versus Endpoint, and Endpoint committed to this tournament. Probably one of the teams I'm most excited to see because, you know, UK and all that. But they did have a bit of a long game earlier that you had the pleasure of casting.
Yeah, a lot of really weird plays, especially because they're playing up against S Gaming, who are so unpredictable. It seems like they got caught out a lot. That being said, I don't know how much they'll be prepared for LDLC specifically, just because they're not a team that have a one-type tendency. They're very dynamic in their play.
Yeah, and haven't really done a whole lot recently either, so get to see them going forward. It's going to be 6 that falls. It's Surreal and Thomas get the initial start, and 3 kills picked up. This is a brilliant start from Endpoint, finding every single kill. His hAdji into a 1v5, and it's just not going to happen for him.
Yeah, that's gone catastrophically wrong. Just waiting for the pushes, Endpoint getting all the frags, and well, hAdji can do nothing. Simply sits on the site, sees if he can carry this armor over, and well, that's about as good a start as you could hope for if you're an Endpoint fan. I mean, we saw Endpoint play Vertigo earlier on in the day as well, and we know that it's a map that they like to pick quite often. But you never really know how prepared these EU teams are going to be in terms of preparedness on this map and just comfort in general, especially when you are a team that sort of closet picks it so often.
Well, there we go. There we go. That's the clean sheet prevented. hAdji just gonna stop that from happening. At least Crucial loses his head. Look at the money on Endpoint already. This is looking solid. They're gonna get the AKs out immediately. A tech pause maybe coming in here. Wouldn't really say it's a tactical pause this early on, so hopefully just a tech issue. And when I say hopefully just a tech issue, hopefully it's a very quick one as well, because we don't want to be sitting here for too long trying to get back into the action. Is online CS after all, Yumi, so a lot of issues do occur.
Yeah, about 20 of them if they decide to all pop up at once. But we had a small issue where we have our little clean feed. It was cutting in and out fairly often, but you know, just fed the hamster a few more treats. Stream was running perfectly fine after that.
Yeah, he's got to roid the steroid into the hamster, and he's fine. He's ready to go. Can pump that wheel forward. And what? Endpoint. Also a good start. Now, we do know a little bit more about Endpoint than probably a lot of the viewers at home. We do get to see them quite a bit play in the likes of the UK Premiership, which is the national division over here in the UK for ESL. Now, Endpoint, they do pick Vertigo quite a bit, and they look very solid against UK teams on it. Now, we get to see what they're like against some of these European rosters.
Yeah. That's where it draws a bit more of a line, right? Because we saw them against S Gaming earlier on. Yeah, they looked good, but they also got caught out fairly often by just a bit more crazy plays, more unpredictable ones, especially when sort of executes were going down. I think by and large, they have a lot of protocols in place should there be any sort of A or B side leniency from LDLC. But a lot of these sort of strategies that Endpoint employ are also taken from other EU teams. And LDLC, I imagine, are very much in that same camp where they're learning from the higher-ups and sort of mimicking their play. And you can see that just based on the CT setup that they've gone with in this round. Well, with the investment from LDLC as well, I'm not expecting that too much will come of the early round. Endpoint's making sure to deploy utility just to clear out some of these troublesome angles. But hAdji with the MP9 does really want to get something done, but Endpoint are simply waiting for anything different, any sort of push play with the SMGs or pistols alike, and well, hAdji will go for it. Above the smoke, he gets the first, but traded right back, and Thomas gets one as well.
Yeah, good trade coming in from Crucial, followed up by Thomas, and now the push can come through from Endpoint. That was all that LDLC were really hoping for, getting hAdji involved early into the round, and well, he's good enough to get that one kill, but now the execute coming in towards the side, but look at Endpoint, they have to be careful of this push through short. Luckily, Thomas in the perfect position to deal with it, he'll get two, and that is LDLC's chances of doing much in this round probably faltered, and there it is, Gringo, the last player alive, dealt with, and Endpoint will clean it up, only losing the one player in the form of Robiin. So relatively clean from Endpoint. Not too much being brought into this next round for LDLC. Should be another round picked up for Endpoint. I don't know if you got to catch any of the LDLC game yesterday. Probably not. But the player in the form of Gringo, probably the most surprising for me. I think he was the most exciting to look at. You know, because we know hAdji, logAN, and Sixer, but the other two a little bit of an unknown quantity. And Gringo certainly showed up and impressed me.
Yeah, looking at the stats, I was a bit confused to see whether Sixer or Lambert would be opening, but I suppose it could be a bit of a hybridized situation, because as far as I can tell, they both op, so...
I think you want Sixer on it. I think he's definitely the more experienced player. He's going to be...
Yeah, for sure.
I think having that double op potential between Lambert and Sixer is certainly something, but from what we've seen yesterday, it was certainly Sixer oping.
There's still a lot of questions to be answered about this new LDLC lineup. And, well...
Such as, why is there an OL in their name? But
yeah, that is one of many.
Yep, that's one of the questions. Didn't even know there was a new LDLC roster, I'll be honest. Thought they were still rocking the Rodin Sixer Major setup, but clearly not.
Which one is this? White, blue, red?
Oh god, there's so many, isn't there? Oh,
yeah.
that is a bit of a meme. But LDLC... yeah, falling from grace, you know, back in the day used to be one of the biggest organizations.
Yeah, yeah.
Not so much anymore. And I think that's just, you know, they didn't really grow with the times here in CSGO. We had some huge orgs coming into play now.
Well, it doesn't seem like Vertigo has started the way they wanted either. Well, at the very least, they haven't subjected too many lives to the SMGs, so no farmed cash for the Endpoint side. And that also means that the player that does have the SMG is left with it in this round, unless he wants to upgrade, which is not very economic. We do get to see logAN on the AWP.
Yeah, no, that is not something that we talked about much at all. Perhaps spawn-based, I'm definitely hoping that would be spawn-based, but he doesn't have any utility in behind him, so wouldn't be surprised if he just hangs on to it. Thomas loves these kind of rounds. As bonus, he's just dived past the player inside of the smoke. Now, that is a bit awkward. hAdji's still over here shooting away. They get the info that he's up there, but Sixer and Lambert have picked up the initial kills. Thomas just diving through, trying to be quick, and, well, not really working for him.
Yeah, we actually saw that exact same push with the SMG earlier today as well. So something that Endpoint are fairly comfortable in employing when they've got a bonus round, and we'll treat it as such. Oh, Sixer, the Molotov in, the smoke at least will allow him to survive, but they know exactly where he is. They have called for another rotation over towards the safe site just to allow for a possibility of saving Sixer's life. But given that they've already lost a couple of players, the resources aren't readily available to commit to that position. They're simply waiting for that smoke, trying to re-molly him out of position, but now they're just going to go out and swing. Lambert there with the kill on Crucial, the trade right back by Surreal, but they sweep up the rest of the round. LDLC get there first on the CT side.
That's just a very well played round there from Sixer. He doesn't do anything, but he just hides in the smoke. Buys a lot of time. Endpoint can't move forward. He hasn't left the position. No hAdjis to stack in. They immediately lose the two players at the beginning of the round, and then Sixer just buying his time, waits for his teammates to swing with him, and there we go, job done. LDLC with their first on the board, and they'll be happy about that. But it was a bit of a bonus from Endpoint, so now coming into this one, they're going to get the AKs in play, the utility on every single player as well, and even a few of them have some extra cash in the bank, so not the end of the road here for Endpoint, certainly just the beginning.
Yeah, steeper chimneys to climb, really, for LDLC. This being not their map pick, they will look to a hot start. Especially understanding that Endpoint have at least got a game ahead of them. So getting rid of, you know, cold hands, warming up into matchups is certainly a factor that could be at play. And Thomas, what a spray transfer on the first two. Opens this A-bomb site up massively, and it actually means that the Endpoint side are going to begin congregating for the hit.
Lambert walking his way up short is going to get a bit of a chance here on towards robiin, shutting him down. That's a good headshot to find. At least something pulled back for LDLC. Now under a minute left on the clock, and Endpoint still not committed just yet. They're trying to get on towards that A site, but look at the position from Surreal. He's just walking through B on his own. No resistance met there, so Endpoint might just tuck tail and run back over here. If Surreal catches off a player in rotation, this could be huge. logAN walking around the corner, not ready for that. Surreal will find one and a second backed up as well. That's round done. Well played from Surreal. Saves the day for Endpoint. Things were looking potentially hairy over towards that A site, but it's Surreal. What a hero play from him in this round. 3 kills picked up. Certainly the impact player for Endpoint.
Yeah, typically fulfills such a lurking role for the squad, but gets so much presence over towards B. Just makes the rotations difficult for the LDLC side. And well, they win a singular round on their CT, but not in a great spot to reinvest, especially if they want that AWP back up on logAN or Sixer respectively. And so it will just be a half buy at that. A bit of armor on hAdji, some utility as well to help cultivate these pistols. But again, another slow approach from Endpoint, this standardized default. Just to make sure that LDLC don't push the boundaries too far.
Well, crucial. He's going to be back here on the ramp. We're going to try and get involved. It's Thomas that shuts down hAdji. Crucial. Looking for these pistols around the corner. It's going to be easy pickings for him. First collected, the second opportunity there, but they're moving quite quickly, so landing these shots becomes difficult. He's just trying to pre-fire, but not really working for him. Now the rotation from the rest of the CTs coming over it. And Endpoint realized, right, we'll just execute him, make sure we limit the casualties, we'll play the percentages, and we'll get this round under our belt. Get it over and done with. Crucial still going back.
He's struggling.
He's really struggling here in this position, but finally it pays off the second through the smoke, and, you know, he just keeps trying it. Eventually, the percentage is playing in his favor, and he will get the kills through the smoke.
Yeah, no slogans behind the smoke as well. It's such an awkward fight, just constantly back and forth, back and forth. Playing a game of whack-a-mole, but eventually he gets the prize.
Well, official bookmaker over at Unicorn. 1.25, Endpoint the favourites coming into this matchup. I think I agree with them based on how little info we have on LDLC as a team. 3.75. Although LDLC had worse odds against Simon yesterday, and they managed to pull it back and win the series 2-1. I think the issue with LDLC comes down to their map pool, Yumi. I think they've got a very limited map pool, and I think Vertigo is certainly going to be one of the maps they haven't put a lot of work into. Yeah,
it's strange to see that Dust 2 is probably one of their more played maps with this roster so far, and that's not exactly a very strategic-oriented map. Typically, teams sort of niche into one of the sort of strat-heavy maps, and then you kind of leave Mirage, Dust as kind of... Everybody knows how to play it to some capacity, so you kind of leave them afloat. They've gone a different route, it seems. Maybe not having the amount of time to invest into those more strat-heavy maps yet. Well, like we said at the start, a lot of questions to be answered with how prepared an LDLC will be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of hoping for, that they would come into this very prepared, because they haven't had to play any tournaments, they haven't had to do anything. They've had lockdown, so probably just nothing else but practice. So we'll see how much preparation they have here on Vertigo. Still the early stages, and while at the moment it's certainly looking like Endpoint on the more comfortable side. We've just seen a lot of these ramp duels come in. Thomas barely staying alive, but he does stay alive and gets an opening kill as well. That's AWP in the back lines of B. Just looking down the barrel on towards the top of the B stairs. You've got 4 players positioned outside of the B stairs right now. logAN under pressure, caught in the open. That's a little strange as to why he would transition at that point. And now he's just caught. 2-man advantage for Endpoint.
And they're just going to back away from the site. I am so confused how Thomas gets away with a kill at A. There are 3 players in close enough proximity to not only one trade, but shoot at the man. He was on 5 HP when he got the frag at A, and they backed away. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, that's a little strange. I think it's mainly because Endpoint have been sending so many players heavy towards A. They didn't really have too much information. They don't want to throw away more than 1 kill there, so potentially just hoping for the execute on towards the A bomb site, but at that point, it was just a 1-man army. It was just Thomas.
Yeah, he did 80 plus damage to hAdji and then actually just found another kill instead. Just a fresh face. So, some confusing stuff from LDLC, like getting caught in transition there with the AWP, also going for aggro A picks and not really committing to it. If you're gonna do anything, don't half invest yourself into it. It's very, very hard to get committed that way.
Well, Hellcase. In his Hell Cup 8, you can use code SLTV for a 15% refill bonus over there. So it's SLTV15. Head over to Hellcase and use that. You can also use code SLTV for some bonuses to your deposit. So quite a bit going on over there. Hellcase, have your say over there. Full buy for both teams. It's going to be a peek from Lambert down in towards the ramp. He's going to be spamming through and trying to connect on a couple of players who are on the other end of it.
I think they even thought about flashing through for just a second, but I think better of it the second time round. Just more spam through. Making sure that Endpoint know that they're there on the other side of things. They're baiting for hAdji as well. The double flash is in. They actually want to push the envelope a little bit. hAdji going through the flames to get the kill on MiGHTYMAX. The follow-up damage on Crucial as well. They have now firm control of A ramp in what has never been the case so far in this half. After a bit of a different setup and a bit of a different idea, LDLC take the initiative their way, and they've got Endpoint backed in towards the B bomb site instead.
Well, Thomas just holding on. You got logAN towards quad. I think Thomas has an inkling. Knows that logAN's in. Behind that, he's going to spam, trying to bid him into the open. Thomas just going back forward, hoping logAN overextends. The backpack spotted. Well, obviously the backpack attached to him anatomically? That doesn't really make sense.
Anatomically.
Yeah, there we go. And well, Thomas and Robin standing on the side. It's one kill from Robin, another follow-up, and now it's all on to hAdji. 1 versus 2, the AWP picked up, and now hAdji falling away with the AWP. That's the best he can hope for here. I don't really think we're going to be seeing him win the round, but maybe he can attempt some.
May have actually heard the scope as well, just because of the verticality of Vertigo. That is a good initial start from LDLC. What, they come into a 4 versus 2, and there's just a couple of clean picks over towards B. They catch the rotate out as well. Although a good initial plan may set yourself up for success, it doesn't guarantee it. And well, Thomas and Robin clawing this one from the clutches of potential defeat to get themselves a 7th round on field. At the very least, hAdji does succeed in saving that up. I don't want to call out, the caster's curse. I don't really believe in it typically, but you're pleasantly surprised by Gringo the other day.
Oh yeah. Well, 005 right now. Not having a great
time.
time.
The man is struggling at the moment.
Yeah, well, maybe he's just not a Vertigo gamer. It's going to be Thomas throwing that top short smoke. Now, he's been exploiting that, so this is something we see a lot of players do. They can throw that smoke up towards top short. You just run straight through it, but that is the start you're looking for, LDLC. Kill coming in from Sixer, dropping Crucial. Now, man advantage picked up for LDLC. Their best chance moving forward. They haven't really been able to do this just yet, but now they have. The AWP getting tossed away from Thomas as well. They don't want the other AWP to fall into the hands of LDLC. Although, typically, I wouldn't really want a double AWP set up here on the CT side of Vertigo.
I think, weirdly enough, it's a good read because of how the AWP has been changing hands thus far on the LDLC side. We've had Lambert have it. We've had logAN. Now Sixer. The only one that's actually got a clean opening frag with it.
And I think he should be the one just AWPing all the time.
Yeah, I am in agreement.
Yeah,
I don't know that the other LDLC players will agree, but
yeah, he's certainly the best AWPer on the team. I make an argument, even probably one of the best players on the team. hAdji, I've always been a fan of his. I think he's a solid player. He can slot into a lot of teams. Although Sixer is just continuing to find kills. It's one more. On towards MiGHTYMAX. The smoke is going to go down. hAdji able to come back in. And Surreal hits the deck spraying for more. But hAdji overrun. Robin will take him down. And now we're into a 4 versus 2.
And Sixer's not done taking control away from Endpoint. Looking for more peaks with the AWP. Primed and in position. Thomas not quite prepared for it. Lambert spraying aggressively through the smoke. But Robin doesn't really have much ground to work with. He knows that Sixer's in towards the scaffolding, and he knows the bomb site is heavily covered. In fact, they just swarm him. Make sure that he can't save that rifle over, do any more damage, and even upgrade one of those SMGs into a rifle as well.
Well, this is a decent round picked up for LDLC, but again, not out of the woods just yet. It's going to be an endpoint buy coming in. The open hands are crucial. The AK-47s for the rest. And well, robiin, he's only on $850 left in that bank account. So we are starting to see a little bit of a decrease in the reserve cash. But endpoint's still comfortable enough for the next round as well. It's going to be Sixer over towards this A side, playing B side, playing pretty dynamically. Started over towards A in the last round, but over B this time.
And you wonder how repeatable a round like that is, considering Sixer just found pick after pick with the AWP, not getting traded out easily by the endpoint side. Well, this time around, Thomas is lurking towards A. He is found, actually, by hAdji, but logAN is prepared for this sort of pixel peek around the corner. Is holding to make sure that he can shoot through the floorboards. logAN, Molotov out of position. There's a lot of presence towards B, and so 3 players will sit in position, waiting for the approaching execute. Endpoint begin their pursuit.
They do indeed, and while Sixer under pressure, over towards this B-bomb site, has his teammates to back him up as they start to move forward. It's Surreal through a smoke and through a wall, taking down logAN's head off. A second kill as well, picked up on towards Gringo. And while Endpoint, they can just see through smokes, it seems. The kills just keep coming through. They just know the lineups, know the angles. And while that is unfortunate for LDLC, any chances they may have had of pulling off that retake, completely spoiled by smoke kills. That's just nuts.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow, really. You think you're giving up the site, playing for the retake instead? Maybe try and get a kill around the smoke? But every single one that's gone for it, dead. Didn't even allow for the rotations to happen. They didn't get halfway through spawn before they had to double back. A good accumulator round for Endpoint as well, keeping 4 up. Does mean that their economy has pretty much run away for most of the rest of this half. Unless they lose out from here on out, there's no realistic way that they run out of cash. It's all about round recovery now for LDLC. The question is, we've seen Sixer sort of prompt or start the rounds with the AWP. Where do you position him to get the most amount of success? Because he's been A, they know that he likes to ult A. Do you try mixing it up, or do you just lock out that side of the map?
Well, I think hAdji's going to be pretty happy with that start. Surreal coming in with a double. Thomas with a headshot, and that's just a brilliant answer back from Endpoint. You know, just straight away into the next round, showing up, dominating this one as well. And LDLC, there's nothing they can do. They're locked out of this round as well. This is just unbelievable. Endpoint are just hitting the pace. They're calling the right plays every single time. Well, LDLC, it's a little unfortunate for them. The only time they've been able to win a round is when Sixer is kind of lucky in towards the ramp, gets a good positioning, gets that first kill, and other than that, it's just been a pretty flawed system overall from LDLC.
Yeah, I thought the initial flash was good, right? hAdji gets the clean kill, seems like he can almost back away, does get traded, but then everybody else on LDLC commits to a fight, and they just lose all the duels. Like you said, like, could start in such a clean way. It's just about maintaining that control, and at the moment they are very out of control on the CT side of things. Not quite as well drilled, not quite as prepared as one would hope. Really, they're just having a field day over at the A site on the side of Endpoint. They play it slow, they play it fast, they're just winning the gunfights. I
would be interested to see what sort of teams LDLC scrim against on a regular basis, because for me, you know, I haven't really seen much of this team. I don't know if they'll be able to play against some of the best teams in Europe. I don't really know how that really works with all the top teams, but it would be interesting to see them get more tournament invites to cups like this and sort of play more of these tier 3 tournaments, because I think they definitely do have the pieces to do some damage. It just clearly shows that they haven't. They're a little bit out of practice, I think. Definitely have the pieces, but this system on Vertigo is not looking good right now. This is the Endpoint show, and their T side has just been perfect. You know, you have to hand it to Endpoint's performance here as well. They put a lot of work in. They've improved steadily across the recent months, and Vertigo has been one of those maps climbing into their pool. Even the older versions, I remember casting a tournament at the start of the year for StarLadder way back in January 1st. It feels not that long ago because I haven't done much since then. But basically, we've seen Endpoint show up. They were Phoenix at the time. They were playing Vertigo against the likes of Heroic, and they were doing damage on that as well.
Yeah, they've been steadily developing over time. So you do feel for a newer sort of squad like LDLC, like you said, just maybe not getting the same level of practice, the same quality of practice either. Of course, it could just be what we were talking about earlier, just map pool diversity and it not being there quite yet. Still, they're in good position to deal with a push towards B. logAN getting a kill around the smoke. He is traded right back. Gringo gets nothing, though. Initially unchecked, could have potentially found 1 or 2 players around the smokes, but, well, Sixer's the last remaining man. Although he gets 1, that may just be a consolation frag.
Well, he could pull this off. He has got a kit. That is the big part looking here, but the time is starting to tick now, and he's not really getting an opportunity given to him by MiGHTYMAX or Surreal. We're looking at the edge of the generator, aware that there is a player close by to the gens, but again, Endpoint just playing this so well, so disciplined, not giving a single chance over to the French Albert. It's going to be around the board for Endpoint. Six is going to Molotov and fall away with it, and now, really, we're starting to look at probably an Endpoint win here if they can get a few more here on this T side. I know it's quite early to say still, but I'm just not seeing anything here from LDLC.
Yep.
And if there's no preparation on the CT side, what is the T side going to look like? Has Sixer just been... Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
he's been
just
gifted
ran right
that.
past him.
He's been gifted that.
You can see they're aggressively hunting for the AWP just because they've just got so much cash. They haven't really been dying too much on this T side. Highest amount of deaths is 6, and well, robiin's compensating with the fragging potential. So, yeah, if there's, I think the way in which you can make assumptions like that is simply based on the level of preparedness and just the way that they're reacting to some of these angles. Like, Max knows that there's a gap above that smoke when he's pushing up. He knows that he can get the peak, and Sixer's unaware. Just small things like that, small instances where utility is used and it throws a bit of a difference in how your angle peaks. It makes a world of a difference against good teams.
Well, MiGHTYMAX will take down Lambert, and there it is, 11-2 for Endpoint. And yeah, it's just a complete contrast in terms of preparation. And look at those odds, they're starting to become a landslide here. LDLC 6.5, 1.11 for Endpoint. They're feeling very, very comfortable here on Vertigo. And I would say Endpoint still, overall in the series, will be feeling relatively comfortable. Second map's going to be Inferno, one that LDLC will definitely put up a better fight on. But I would say for the last 2 maps, Endpoint stand a chance. So this is certainly looking good for them, I would say. Now that is an interesting flashbang they're throwing from T-Spot. So it actually goes out of the map and around here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that.
Well, sneaky flashes aside, some good frags from the Endpoint side. At the very least, it's equal affairs. Lambert close to the smoke as well. He's within touching distance from a couple of players. He's heard the footsteps as well. They know that they're simply waiting for the reaction. It's all about patience here from Lambert. Maybe he goes out for the wide swing to find this kill on Crucial, but he's aware! He hits the no-scope up close, and Gringo... Oh, he's just left on his own, to his own devices. He's trying the same sneaky type play, and Max is just prepared.
Well,
they slow things down so significantly.
That is just very unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah.
LDLC just not having a great time right now. hAdji's the only player really doing anything. Sixer's found a few important kills here and there, but for the most part, just a pretty lackluster performance coming in from LDLC. Last round of the half coming right up, and I don't think they've done enough here, I'm afraid, to recover this. We've seen a decent recovery to a certain extent. They made the scoreline look recoverable on train, or at least respectable, should I say, against Simon yesterday, and they won 14-1, should I say, on their first half. So, you know, LDLC, they might be able to scrap something together here, but I think they haven't done enough to be able to pull it all the way back, I'm afraid. As pessimistic as it sounds, but it's just realistic. It's just pragmatic in terms of what we see in front of us.
Yeah, well, usually when we think comeback potential, there's a player maybe popping off, he's doing really, really well, but nobody on the side of LDLC's really had a standout performance. We get to see the numbers we expect from players like hAdji and Sixer, but that's about it. We're getting to see a little bit of a difference, a couple other frags being contributed elsewhere, but just... the frags don't seem clean at all. Endpoint are moseying onto the site. There's a good rotation in by the remaining CTs, but Robin's brought it to a one-on-one. Suddenly, this is the most winnable round the LDLC have had in some time, and Sixer closes out the half. A 3-12 scoreline, one that is certainly feasible for LDLC to recover, but very unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see this happening in any world, unfortunately. I think this one is a done deal. 12-3 on the board. Endpoint now 4 away from victory. Their T side is also a very strong affair. So when we move over to the CT side, this is where things I think will get actually potentially even worse here for LDLC. I think Endpoint have shown that they're really good on the defense, and we'll see what LDLC have up their sleeve. They have got utility invested, so that's going to be Lambert with the smoke and double flash. The rest though on Kevlar, so there's not going to be too many intricate strategies available to them. But Endpoint, a lot of utility purchased up. A kit in the hands of Robiin. Dual Beretta is the most interesting part here in the hands of Thomas. We'll see if he can make them work.
Yeehaw. It's an infamous clip. Oh, we might actually get to see it. They're baiting him. He's got the bomb at his feet as well. He is the perfect bomb defender, but he may not even get the chance. His team is killing everybody. Sixer's down to 16 HP as well. There's just no way. Thomas might just get one shot off with the dualies, but that's about all we can hope for.
Oh,
there it is.
Okay. That's not the pistol round you'd be hoping for if you're LDLC. 13-3. I'm loving this from Endpoint. I really am. I
They're
mean,
speedrunning.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, you can't really be biased as a commentator, but I can still be happy for them. You know, Endpoint turning up and doing so many great things here for the UK Counter-Strike, potentially put it on the map again. Yeah, the team might not be 5-man UK CS, but that everybody's learned that that's just a recipe for disaster. You know, if you still have a majority of 3 British players, then, you know, we're in the right direction. I've even got a Ginger one, so, you know, they're on the road.
That's a +2 to the UK side right there.
Yeah, exactly. And Ireland and Scotland, you know, anybody who has good ginger roots. Not a big fan of ginger as in food. Well, ginger's okay. What do you make of ginger?
I wouldn't have it on its own, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it on its own. I would have it. I'm not a massive fan of ginger ale or anything like that. I do like gingerbread, and I like is it that ginger cake that the Jamaica company made?
Yes,
it's pretty good.
Yes, yeah, I've had that before. It's nice.
Yeah, that's good. But yeah, we're kind of off track now. But
man, don't get me started on food.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. But that's kind of why I'm on this trajectory. But you know, we'll get right back into it. We can feast on this Counter-Strike, and there's plenty of good CS being played by Endpoint. They are now 3 away from victory here in the series. In map number 1.
LDLC are holding in their spawn with Glocks, so
it's a good tactical pause right there.
Yeah, just about. It's an old existence pause. They might finally begin to group themselves up. Seems like they're going to go for some semblance of a rush towards B. May as well just throw the round away, really, when it's only Glocks, no utility whatsoever. And they'll finally pull the trigger. The smoke is timely, though. Surreal was prepared, and you'll get a shooting gallery, to which he doesn't really feast too much, but Thomas can at least get the cash.
Well, that's good stuff. Sixer and hAdji finding the kills. It's going to be 14-3 now, with Endpoint certainly looking like it might just be over the line. But LDLC are going to purchase up. It's going to be one of their last leg buys. We'll see if they can make these AKs work. They have got a little bit of utility, good enough amount, and now it's all do or die time. It has to be flawless if they want to win in regulation, Humi. And I'm not saying that's a possibility, but it's certainly... Well, actually, it is a possibility. It's just a very, very unlikely possibility.
Yeah, you'll need to show me the stars before you take me into space.
Don't worry, Yuma. I've got a space rocket in my backyard. We're ready to go.
Alright, that just sounds very dodgy.
Yep, it's definitely a real space rocket. My dad's Elon Musk, you know?
Well, backs up against the wall. It's do or die. Lose this round, lose the map. Honestly, they may just be mentally checked out at this point. The amount of which they're holding, but not really looking for anything. Just hoping that Endpoint makes some kind of a mistake. It's looking for Hail Mary rounds, really. Because there's no proactivity anywhere, really. Just spamming smokes.
Well, the YouTube feed has,
yeah,
I think has crashed, but it's back.
Oh.
So we're ready to go. Don't worry. And you will not be missing the action here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a push up in towards the ramp from the T side. LDLC, though, this boost might just catch them off. X-ray off to see the difficulty here for Crucial. He can't see anybody. He doesn't want to overextend, and there's the first kill. He'll come off after the first. Doesn't want to overextend and give us away his life, so just holds on to the advantage as they slip back in behind the smoke. 20 seconds, no smoke down on the left side of the bomb site. logAN's going to find the kill onto MiGHTYMAX. So we're in a 4v4, make it a 4v3 this time favoring LDLC, but robiin, the double on the MP9, the bomb on the floor, and the round done here. It's all on to Sixer. There's just about enough time to get a bomb plant, never mind win the round, and he's going to peek into the open, finds robiin, and the time is gone. They might as well just kill him after time now at this point. Surreal is going to attempt that, and he's going to stick around at Sixer not peeking. Does a good job to stay alive, but round done. 15-3, Endpoint domination in a can right now.
That is a great little sponsor plug, but Endpoint are, yeah, they're just having their way with them. LDLC, the reason I point out they're just looking at a smoke is that they had all this utility, but nowhere to really deploy it. They're not throwing any sort of lurk smoke on B. They're not throwing their own smokes A ramp so that they have these one-way angles. It's just hoping for Endpoint mistakes, and well, right now they're playing a flawless game on the CT side, shot after shot being hit. And while they close out the game after not conceding a single round on their CT side.
Yeah, very, very quick affair in the end. Endpoint get it done with not really having too much of a test at all. It's time for a short break though, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the action here in the best of 3 between LDLC and Endpoint.
Hellcase. Hellcase has over 35 unique CSGO cases with a huge variety of skins, over 93 million cases opened and 6 million registered users. You can upgrade your skins to the better one or win some of them in giveaways. We give out more than 70 skins per month for free on our social networks. Withdraw your skins or balance with popular payment systems. Be unique and make profit on Hellcase with this promo code. Start now.
Fill me out with your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you in this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.
Hellcase. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.